the prolific inventor who kept creating for 73 years. Meet Oscar E. Brown, an inventor whose career spanned an incredible 73 years. From 1892 to 1967, this man filed patents across 7 decades, working in multiple states and constantly innovating. His story is one of versatility, longevity, and genius that has been largely forgotten. Here's what's remarkable. Despite creating inventions that shaped American infrastructure and safety, we know almost nothing about Oscar's personal life. We don't know when he was born, where he grew up, who his parents were, or even when he died. What we do know is that he was a U.S. citizen, an African-American inventor, and that he lived in Buffalo, New York, when he filed his first patent in 1891. The absence of basic biographical information is itself a form of erasure. A man who invented for 73 years should have his story told. But all we have are his patents. So let's celebrate what we can document, his extraordinary inventions. Oscar's inventing career began in Buffalo at age unknown with a horseshoe patent. But this wasn't just any horseshoe. Listen to Oscar explain it in his own words. This invention relates to double or compound horseshoes, which consist of an upper shoe secured to the hoof of the animal and a lower auxiliary shoe removably attached to the upper shoe. Why did this matter? Oscar continues. The object of my invention is the provision of a secure and reliable lock for fastening the lower shoe to the upper shoe, which will permit the lower shoe to be readily applied to and removed from the upper shoe whenever it becomes necessary to renew the lower shoe or resharpen its caulks. Think about that. Instead of forcing a horse to stand still while you remove nails and replace the entire shoe, Oscar created a system where only the worn bottom part needed changing. The upper shoe stayed nailed to the hoof. Just swap out the lower shoe and you're done. Faster, less stressful for the horse, more efficient for the farrier. Oscar had another goal too. My invention has the additional object to cushion the horseshoe so as to reduce the force of its impact against the pavement and relieve the animal of the stiff, unyielding impact of ordinary shoes. He cared about the horse's comfort. Fast forward 16 years. Oscar is now inventing at an incredible pace. In May 1907, he filed a patent for an oil burner in Tulare, California. 3 months later, in August 1907, he filed a patent for a water motor back in Buffalo, New York. Both were granted in 1908. The water motor was designed to harness river and tidal currents. Oscar created a submerged motor with pivoted paddles and auxiliary hinged paddles. The genius part? It worked in both directions of the tide while rotating the same way. No matter which way the water flowed, Oscar's motor kept spinning in one direction, generating consistent power. But the oil burner is where Oscar showed true innovation. In his own words, the purpose was to highly gasify oil, eliminate soot and deleterious matter. He created a 2-chamber system where oil conveyed to upper chamber, heat vaporizes into gas, gas passes to combustion chamber/mixing box, air mixes with gas. Clean burning, efficient, revolutionary for 1908. And here's where the erasure begins. Oscar pioneered oil gasification technology in 1908. His innovation allowed oil to be vaporized into gas for cleaner, more efficient combustion. But here's what happened next. Just 1 year later in 1909, Charles D. Wright in Dallas filed a patent for an oil burner using dual-pan design, heat-based gasification, air mixing with vaporized gas to eliminate soot. Wright's patent was cited by 3 future patents. Oscar's foundational work? Not cited. In 1913, James L. Hamilton in Colorado filed a patent for burning heavy fuel oils from petroleum, using surface combustion to generate combustible gases, air mixing, and efficient burning with little smoke. Hamilton's patent was cited by 2 future patents. Oscar's pioneering work? Not cited. In 1914, Floyd Dow in Illinois filed a patent for heat-decomposing hydrocarbon oil to generate fumes and vapors, with air mixing to enhance combustion and minimize odor. Dow's patent was cited by 6 future patents. Oscar's original innovation? Not cited. If you're learning about inventors who built America but never got the credit, make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe. We're documenting these stories one inventor at a time, and we need you with us for the journey. Drop a comment and tell us, Had you ever heard of Oscar E. Brown before today? Oscar didn't stop. In 1915, at age unknown but probably in his 50s or 60s, he filed his second horseshoe patent, 23 years after his first one. This time it was for non-slipping horseshoe attachments for ice. Oscar created a detachable overshoe with sharp caulks that went over ordinary horseshoes. The brilliant part? It was adjustable to different hoof sizes. One design fit multiple horses. Then came the automobile era, and Oscar adapted. In 1918, he filed a patent for non-skid vehicle tires. He created detachable hollow metallic caps with lateral non-skid wings that cut into rut walls to help lift vehicle wheels out of ruts. He took his horseshoe principle and applied it to cars. But Oscar wasn't done evolving. In 1923, he filed another tire patent with a completely different approach, a full chain system with a central tread chain to prevent spinning and two side chains to prevent side skidding. This wasn't just improving his old design. This was reimagining the entire concept. By 1930, Oscar had moved from Buffalo to Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. At age probably 65 or older, he shifted from mechanical inventions to design. He created an ornamental ashtray design and assigned it to United States Glass Company. Oscar was now doing industrial design for a major manufacturer. Then came Oscar's partnership with Mueller Company, and this is where his work became truly extraordinary. In 1953, at an age that would put him in his 80s or 90s if born in the 1860s to 1870s, he co-invented with Hugh L. Baker a split pipe sleeve with asymmetric bolt holes. The problem they solved was simple but critical. When field workers incorrectly assembled pipe sleeves, the seals wouldn't work, causing dangerous leaks in gas and oil pipes. Oscar's solution? Make it physically impossible to assemble incorrectly. In the patent's words, their design prevented incorrect assembly of the two halves about a pipe so that the packings on two adjacent sections abut each other and the sealing surfaces on two adjacent sections abut each other. The bolt hole pattern was symmetrical lengthwise, but asymmetrical crosswise. Assemble it wrong, and the pieces visibly offset. Try to force it, and the bolts won't all fit. This wasn't just engineering, this was safety thinking. Oscar's final documented invention came when he was potentially in his 90s or even past 100. He moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and co-invented with Frank H. Mueller a revolutionary fire hydrant safety coupling. Fire hydrants were designed to break away when hit by vehicles, but they had a fatal flaw. The upper section moved sideways before breaking, bending the internal valve stem and causing expensive damage. Oscar's solution showed sophisticated physics understanding. Listen to the patent explain it. The joint immediately and effectively translating the forces developed by a lateral impact on said upper barrel section into an upward pull on said upper valve stem section to cause breakage of said frangible coupling by tension, and for preventing any appreciable lateral displacement of said upper barrel section until after said frangible coupling has been broken. Oscar created frusto-conical wedging surfaces. When a car hit the hydrant, the angled surfaces converted horizontal impact into vertical separation. Instant upward movement. Zero lateral displacement. The coupling broke in pure tension with no bending forces. The valve stem stayed undamaged. This was filed in 1964, granted in 1967, and cited by 18 future patents. Let's put this in perspective. Oscar filed his first patent in 1891. His last patent was granted in 1967. That's 76 years from first filing to final grant. If he was 25 when he filed his first patent, he would have been 101 when his last patent was granted. If he was 30 at the first patent, he'd be 106 at the last. We may never know Oscar's exact age, but we know this. He invented across 8 decades, in 4 different states, for at least 3 different industries. He evolved from horseshoes to motors, to oil burners, to automobile tires, to industrial design, to municipal infrastructure safety engineering. He pioneered oil gasification technology that others built upon without citing him. He created 11 patents representing 10 unique inventions. His hydrant safety system was cited by 18 later patents. His split pipe sleeve was cited by 25 later patents. His work literally built American infrastructure. But we don't know when he was born. We don't know when he died. We don't know if he had a family. We don't know where he's buried. This is erasure, not just in the patent citations that should have credited his foundational work, but in the absence of the basic human story that should surround 73 years of brilliance. Oscar E. Brown deserves to be remembered. If this story moved you, like this video, share it with someone who needs to know this history, and subscribe because we're going to keep telling these stories until every forgotten inventor gets the recognition they deserve. Oscar E. Brown, the man who invented for 73 years and asked history to remember nothing but his work. We're remembering him anyway,